Hang on to your seat, baby, cause this one's a screamer, a screamer.
What is going on YouTube? So today I'm gonna be doing my I can't get over this pimple. I'm about to pop it. I just didn't want it to bleed before I recorded this. I'm so like self-conscious, but it's gonna be my recap of the Bad Boys LA episode 5, I believe. Recap before I get started, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. So this episode is actually really good, y'all. You know, hold on my knee, let me hold my knee, let me hold my knee. Okay. This episode is really good. Most of the episode, though, of course, I caught Zeus in their regular actions on what they do. They love to keep them in the studio. I mean, they love to do one scene for the whole thing or whatever. So I caught them in doing that because the whole scene was really the whole episode was them in the studio in that one scene, right? So the episode starts off with Milan showing Anthony his dildo piece, right? So he's showing Anthony his dildo piece or whatever, and this is why you can't. This is why you gotta be careful, people, because they be funny. Like you can see how Milan was low key shady to Anthony from the jump because he was just like, "Oh, this is my dildo piece or whatever. I make a lot of money from it, and like flesh. This is him, Fleshlight. Approached me, and they wanted to make a mold out of my dick, and like I told them they could make the mold out of my dick, and they said they wanted to make the mold out of my ass also. So like, yeah, that's why I got so much money and everything like that. He said that to Anthony. He was just like, yeah, that's why I make more money than you do. You know, the type of friends, they're not really your friends. They like to throw little slick shots on that ass every chance that they could get, like that type of vibe or whatever, right? So Anthony's looking at it and he's just like, oh my God, like it's so big, blase blase. And Anthony funny because he said on Instagram, he said that now his pet has a new chew toy that he could use. So the dildo that Milan gave him, he just gave it to his dog to chew up, which is actually really funny. So yeah. So Anthony is telling him about the fashion show, how they're gonna be going to a fashion show soon or whatever and stuff like that, and how they're all gonna have fun in the fashion show, blase blase blase, right? And y'all probably thinking this isn't important, but it comes up a little bit later. So they all gather, the boys or whatever, Milan and Anthony, because they're the two main dudes of the show. They all gather all the boys. They go to the bus, and then once they go to the bus or whatever, they start talking about the fashion show that they're going to go to or whatever. So Milan took it upon himself to tell everybody at the fashion show, even though it was Anthony's friend that really is doing the fashion show. He was the one that was supposed to announce it. So then Anthony in his confessional, she's just like, of course, Milan announced my event that my friend invited all of us to, because he always has to be the star, make it about him, right? So after that happens, Darrell's in the confessional, he's just like, oh, I can't wait for this fashion show. I could sashay my ass up and down the runway. Because I sashay my ass around the bad boy's house. Oh, like that type of vibe, right? Darrell is funny. He's freaking hilarious. Like he makes some of the funniest moments of that show. So they're on the way to the studio, and then also Anthony gets him back. So to me, Anthony and Milan, they're not really friends. They just are cool they just were cool for the sake of the show, but you could tell they don't really like each other. You get what I'm saying? So Anthony got his ass back though, because he was just like, oh yeah, by the way, Milan has a gift for us later. Ha 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 ha. Right? So Milan gets mad. He was just like, oh, your big mouth ass had to tell everybody about the gifts, because he basically got all the gay dudes in the house, the dildos, and then he got all the straight dudes, team straight, talk sexuality, nothing else, and Curtis like pocket hoo-has or whatever, right? So yeah, they're on their way to the studio or whatever, and then after that happens, they get to the studio because they're going to the studio to film a Bad Boys track, right? A Bad Boys track. So that's the intro. If you guys don't know, by the way, that's a bad boy. He's a bad boy. What? That's a bad boy. That's about like that's the little intro or whatever. So that's gonna be a funny part too that I'm gonna mention later. So they start going to the studio and then they end up meeting the producer. His name is Mad Cash. So first he starts playing them little previews to see which type of song that they like the best. So the song they liked the best was the Bad Boy song that we hear in the intro, that boo boo doo doo boo. That's the best, and they picked the best song, look like the little preview. They picked the best preview because the other previews he was playing, they sounded kind of stupid. They sounded whack. It just didn't make any sense. So that preview to me was the best preview. So they did the right choice, right? So Darrell didn't want to rap or be in the song. So Darrell's just like, I have my weed and my hookah. And like, I don't want to be rapping no song. I'm not a rapper. They don't call me Big Frida. And like, I just want to sit there chilling, eating my nuts and crackers. I don't want to rap. So he's not really into it. I thought he would be wanting to do it because the where the money reside, that's kind of a jingle. So you would think he would kind of throw that in there to kind of promote his where the money reside thing. Like, come on, Darrell, marketing, marketing, marketing. Like, wake up, what are at? So it's like that to me didn't make any sense why he was so not into doing the music thing, because it's like you're famous for a jingle, which is music. So you might want to capitalize off of that, especially because you're from New Orleans. You never know, you can end up working with Big Frida, something like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can make something happen, right? So Milan sees that he's kind of discouraged, so he wants to basically cheer him up. So he was just like, Darrell's just like, so you want to cheer me up or something? Like, you want me to join the song? So then he was just like, okay, I'm gonna give you the chain if you cheer up and buzz it, buzz it. So he sits on Milan's lap and kind of slides down and puts it on his neck and stuff. And then Darrell's just like, oh, I think he wants to start something. Oh, that's why he's putting the necklace on my neck. But Mr. Milan, me and him could do some things and stuff like that. And I've seen them kind of like flirt a little bit through the past few episodes, because we've seen Darrell get up and then Milan kind of look at his butt, like little stuff like that. But now that's all gone to crap because they're all fighting. Woo! Because they're all beefing on social media. So that is like out the window, because now they want to fight each other basically at this point, right? Because y'all seen the video where I talked about Milan going on Bigo, going off, calling Darrell slew-footed and all that type of stuff. So yeah, that is a no more thing, right? So, and I think one of the reasons why, because later on the episode, the producer ends up leaving. I think the producer started to feel uncomfortable with all the gay crap going on in that studio. I could just see it. He probably was just like, it's too much of y'all gay niggas in here. I gotta go. Like, I really feel like he did that. No cap. Because why all of a sudden you're booked to be on the show, you're booked to be in a studio session and be a producer, but all of a sudden you have to go and you can't stay? It just didn't make any sense. Like, I was like, what? Like, it doesn't make no sense. So after that happens, or whatever, Milan goes first to record his verse of the track. And you already know Milan thinks he's the star of the show. Everybody Curtis and them are like, oh my god, Milan's going first because he thinks he's the star of the show. So he has to be the first verse of the song or whatever, right? So then Milan goes in there, I'm a bad boy, da da da, and then we talking all this stuff, and da da. I'm a bad boy. He's like, bad boys, we bad boys. Yeah, he did okay, whatever. He did his thing. He did have one of the best verses on it, but he irritated the hell out of me for the later part of the episode, that it's like I can't even look at anything good dealing with Milan. This episode showed me why a lot of people do not like him. Because I used to wonder, I'm like, why so much people hate this man? Like, I'm talking about people just hate this man for fun. And I'm like, why? This episode showed me why. Because he went from 0 to 100 for no reason, right? So they showed Darrell, Anthony, and Gutta outside talking or whatever. And Darrell's just like, like, I'm not really fella now. Like, I'm not trying to do no track. I'm not no rapper. Like, all of you guys are rappers. And, like, I do comedy. Oh. Like, Darrell does the Shanae. Oh. Like, when Shanae used to be like, I'm going to bust you in your head, Gina. Oh. Like, Darrell does the type stuff. So they're outside talking about Milan. So they get on the topic of Milan. And then Anthony's just like I'm really sick of people thinking they're like the leader and everything like that, and like they're just not giving leader qualities and stuff like that. And it's really pissing me off because nobody here was designated to be a leader. Like, who the do you think you are? Like, you got me messed up. You feel me? Like, who do you think you are, a Milan? Like, you're not a leader, and y'all got me fucked up because you're just not that head bitch that you think, and it's not giving what it's supposed to, right? That's Anthony. I had to put the shades on. And then you got Gutta. Gutta was just like, so like, ain't nobody, like the leader here, cause like I'm a young bitch and like I don't give a fuck if you bitches think y'all the leader because bitch I'm a young thug. Like so I don't know if Milan thinking he the leader, but he really not. And the bitch is like kind of old, right? So they're all like talking, and then they get into the topic of Darrell possibly having like a crush or full lying around with Milan. So Darrell's just like, oh, like I don't really, me and Milan, we cool. Like we cool. We don't got that much like, going on. And Gutta's just like, oh, like bitch, that's your nigga. Like you fucking with you messed with Milan. Like, if he slide up in that big thing, give you that big thing, like you just gonna you gonna slip and fall in there. Like that's what I think. So the Darrell's just like, no, like I wouldn't deny it, but like I might have given it a chance. So he's basically confirming what we all think, that if Milan were to slide up on him and basically try to holler at him, he would probably, you know, kind of submit to him. That's my opinion. I just see that happening. The little flirting as they've been doing the past couple of episodes, I could see that happening for sure. Just know that toy that Milan brought, they wouldn't have used that night if they were to fool la. Okay? Just saying. So here's my whole thing though. Milan, though, you can tell, especially later on in the episode, him being cool with Natalie and him thinking this is why I feel like they should have casted all regular boys, because the fact that they casted all these celebs and stuff like that, Milan, you could tell he thinks he's like the head girl. He thinks he's like the top girl. He thinks he's Beyonce. He thinks he's written for like multiple rappers at this point. You feel me? Just because he was on Love and Hip Hop, but we saw no hip hop. All we saw was him loving on that boy that was on there, right? So he thinks he's like the Jay-Z of the group or whatever. That's why y'all can't be casting these celebrities on these shows and stuff like that, because they think they're the head honcho. Just how he was speaking to the producers in the studio and stuff like that, talking about, oh, so y'all just gonna let the producer leave and baze. I'm skipping ahead. Let me continue though. So Milan did good though, even though he did piss me off. So Mad Cash, which is the producer, he's like, oh, I gotta go, right? And he said he had to leave for some random reason. We don't get told the reason why. Shame on you, Zeus, though, because I don't know if this is produced by Zeus and they told him, like, hey, act like you about to leave or something like that, or what. I don't know if it was produced by Zeus or they told him that you had to leave or what, but like it just didn't make any sense because all of a sudden he was just like, oh, I gotta go. And then we're just like, okay, like where are you going? Who's gonna finish the track? Because mind you, it was only a couple of them that did their verses. Milan did his verse, Curtis did his verse. Mind you, the whole time Milan is doing his verse, Carry On is sitting there giving him advice. He's giving him props. He's like, oh, you're doing good. You rip that, like you snapping, giving him advice, telling him how to do his voice lyrically, everything like that, like helping the man out, being nice, right? Hyping him up. So keep that in mind. So then after Mad Cash was like, oh, he gotta leave, Carry On was like, oh, let me like Google how to like mix and stop the music and stuff, because we're gonna need somebody who knows how to like produce the music to stay. Mind you, there's no other producers that are gonna be in there to be in charge. So they basically had to figure it out. Milan's over here getting mad. He's just like, no, you can't YouTube that. What do you mean? You can't YouTube that. That's stupid. Like the hell? That's dumb as fuck. Like, what do you mean? So it's like, why are you getting so mad, Milan? Because at the end of the day, it's either Carry On does it or y'all get no song. This is why I said Zeus kind of set this up to kind of like create drama, because Why would the producer want to leave for no reason? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So I feel like Zeus did it to kind of stir up drama. But to me, Milan was getting so mad for no reason. You would have thought Carry On hit a button and deleted all of their verses. Like, calm down. He hasn't even touched a button yet, and you over here going off with your bobblehead, boop, 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 getting all mad, right? So I wanted to also, since Mr. Milan thinks he's a musician of them all, thinks he's head top dog musician, let's look at some of his songs that he's produced, right? So I'm gonna share my screen and then we're gonna continue the recap after we look at Mr. Milan's catalog since he thinks he's Jay-Z, right? So this is his YouTube channel of his music. The last song he put out was 6 months ago. So that's one thing. He made songs. He did a freestyle, a whole lot of money. I hate, one thing I hate when rappers do? They do a lot of freestyle raps on songs that have been created. I hate that because that's not original. If you could come up with your own songs and put them out, I respect rappers like that a lot more, musicians a lot more that do that than people who do mixes and rap on beats that already exist and stuff like that. It's cute to do every once in a while, but like on a consistent basis, you look stupid. He did WAP, same thing. Oh yeah, and then his song that he's really famous for, that Is You Mad or Nah. So we taking musical advice for people that's rap song is known for is You Mad or Nah. Like really? But that's besides the point. So these are some of the songs on there. Is You Mad or Nah? Drip. He made a song called Nicki Minaj. I don't know if he put that so that people could think that he got a feature by Nicki Minaj, but it's like you don't have like a catalog to where you would be able to pop your shit and think that you're over here like Jay-Z and you decide who could mix and master music. It's just crazy to me. Because then he starts yelling at the producers. He's like, oh, so you mean to tell me nobody gonna come in and produce this music? Don't get me wrong. I get why he was mad though, because I feel like I said before, I feel like Zeus did this to create drama. They knew it was gonna piss somebody off that he wasn't gonna be able to stay and keep producing the music, right? Because they wouldn't be able to finish the track. So then he keeps going at it with Carry On, because Carry On's just like, why the hell are you getting so mad? Like, you getting so mad for no reason. Why you snapping on me like that? Milan brings up Carry On's dad, all that type stuff. And then Carry On was like, oh, you insecure. And Milan is insecure because you don't know why. He likes to be the center of attention because he probably didn't get that as like a child. So he likes all the attention and all the hype and all the compliments. Like you could tell he lives for it. He thrives for it. Like you could tell he does. So they start going back and forth. He starts bringing up Carry On, Dad, Kirk Franklin, and then mind you, Milan is sitting after they start going at it. Milan is sitting in front of him, smoking a hookah with his big ass head, and then you have Carry On sitting behind him. This is what I mean. Why some of these dudes, they not really about that life. Because me, I was thinking at a point, I would have snuck him. I would have hit you from the back. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that was Carry On's prime opportunity to hit him because he had ample time. He walked up close up to him, standing right there, and then Milan's like, oh, my leg hurt. Y'all better get him away from me. He's seen you standing right there. So he couldn't even have said like, oh, he snuck me. Because if you had just hit him or whatever, it wouldn't have been bad because he had ample time to do something because he was right there and seeing you standing right there. So he had ample time if he wanted to move or defend himself. So it wouldn't even be considered a sneak because he's seeing you standing right there because he was standing right behind him smoking that damn hookah, right? So then after that happens, Carry On was just like, oh, you a sissy or whatever. You a sissy, blase, blase, blase. And then Milan's just like, yeah, I'm a sissy. I suck. I do all of that. I take it up the butt. All that. I don't care. I'm a sissy. What you think you gonna do about it? All that. He starts going back and forth with Carry On. So when Carry On's just like, y'all want me to be an F word so bad. This is where Carry On lost me. Nobody wants you to be that because you're the one who said you're in between and you're doing all of like you worth whatever and all this type of stuff. So don't try to make it seem like they put you in the house and everybody's trying to convert you. Like, no, Mr. Talk Sexuality, nothing else, was just questioning you. But none of the other dudes tried to be like, please come out, like stop, like don't do that now, like stop it, don't wrong roll, like what you said, wrong roll, right? So then, yeah, like I said, he should have hit Milan. That was his prime opportunity. And then Carry On brings up the fact that Milan tried to sleep with him, right? I think that this happened. The reason why is because I feel like it happened because the way Milan reacted after he said that, you could tell he was just like, damn, you really gonna bring that up and embarrass me like that? Like, damn, like that's crazy. And Milan the type to do some stuff like that, just from stuff that I've seen on social media. We're gonna talk about it on another day. Like we got probably on the after show. With me and Lou, we probably gonna talk about that on the after show. So we can really laugh about it. But like I could just see him doing that. Milan is just that type of person. So like I wouldn't doubt it because the way he said it and Milan reacted, I could tell that did probably happen. Because especially if it happened off camera. So he probably tried to get Carry On to kind of like do something with him off camera. I really could believe that. I'm sorry. And then the funny part was when Carry On called Milan a bottom bitch. I said, what is this, Johnson's Cabaret? Do y'all know the definition of a bottom bitch? Like that's some stripper hoe type stuff. It's not like I guess he meant him to call him that he's a bitch that's a bottom, but he's not a bottom bitch. Like no, he's doesn't live in a house full of whores. He's not in the cabaret. Like Jordan said, he's not in the cabaret. Like he's not in the cabaret. You feel me? Like so he's not a bottom bitch. So the whole time the girl's just like, oh, these hoes is messy. I didn't even have to stop the mess because the girls are getting into it. So he's just watching, carrying on. He's happy that he's not in the mix or whatever, right? So then after that happened, they end up going outside. In this whole situation, I know Moolah was just getting his rocks off. He was just like, oh, this is exciting. Oh my God. I just know like it was turning him on. Like it probably made him feel some type of way. And you know what I noticed that was weird? When they walked in the studio and he was just like, we meet our producer, and Mullah's always yelling in the confessional. This is him. So I'm really excited to see how we are going to see the song, and if the dudes are gonna rap nice on the song, because I'm trying to see how they're gonna rap, and I'm trying to see if they're gonna be the best verse on the song, or if I'm gonna be the like he's yelling. I'm like, relax, bro. Like we hear you, my dude. Like the producers that do the interview should have been like, be quiet. We hear what you're saying. Shut it down a little bit, right? So I know he was getting his rocks off. But the weird thing that I noticed that he did when they walked in the studio and he looked at the producer, he was like, the producer looks nice. And I'm like, what? I don't know if they edited that to try to make him look like funny, but why would you say that out of nowhere? You're still talking that sexuality, Mr. Moolah. I see what you're doing. So, mind you, during the whole verse, I forgot to mention another thing about Moolah. The hook part of the song where, is you bad boy? That's a bad boy. What? Moolah thinking that they're saying that they want a bad boy. Like the boys in the song are saying, I want a bad boy. That's not what they're saying. They're saying, look at that. Look at him. He's a bad boy. You're that insecure and that like that hyper masculinity is really killing you that hard that you think that's what they were saying in the song. But if you were smart, you could hear the lyrics and you could tell that's not what they were saying. He was like, no, I want a bad bitch. We talking sexuality here. I want a bad bitch. I want a girl. I don't want a nigga. I want a girl. Like saying that to Milan. Milan's like, no, it's saying like that's a bad boy. Like I was just looking at, I still laughed so hard. I'm like, bro, this man is, oh my God, like something is really wrong with you, my dude. Something is really, really wrong with you. So they end up going outside, and then Carry On still mad. He's still really, really mad. And then Milan is talking to Curtis, and Curtis is trying to pull him down and stuff. And this is what I mean why these boys ain't really about that life, because you don't know why. Why are you, Curtis, calming down Milan while he snuck you like 2 episodes ago? And you talking about, oh, you want your fair one and blah, blah, blah. And this man snuck you. He might have not hit you and did no damage because we know Milan can't really fight. But this man snuck you and you over here kikiing with him, calming him down, rubbing his shoulders, and you're like, calm down. Stop it. It's like ridiculous, in my opinion. So besides that, Carry On and Darrell end up talking because Carry On's going off or whatever, and Darrell, he's like yelling in Darrell's direction. He was just like, all of y'all y'all some soft ass boys, man. Y'all kids gonna repent and get y'all karma for what y'all do to a musician's son, like going off about something. I'm like, what? So then the rest was like, you need to direct that energy towards across the street, cause you're doing a little too much. Yo, energy need to bring that energy down. So he felt some type of way because he was just like, why you coming at me or whatever, which I kind of get too. So he called him down. He was just like, are you able to go in the van because you're doing too much or whatever? Like, you need to calm down or whatever, all this type of stuff. Carry On killed me when he was just like, he was like, Milan think he like, he was like, Milan, he thinks he's like the top dog or whatever. You're known for having a mold of your butt. You was wrong for that. That was funny. 0.1 for Team Straight Carry On. That was a good, that was really funny. Like, I laughed hard when he said that. Because that's what Milan is really known for. He's known for being love and hip hop and then having sex toys of his body parts. You're well accomplished, my dude. Like, congrats. Don't get me wrong, he does make a lot of money from it. That's how he could afford all that designer stuff, allegedly. But still, like, don't act like you're bigger than what you actually are. He really acts like he's on like a mainstream celebrities level. If some people that don't watch reality TV, they wouldn't even know who you are. Like, if you didn't watch Love and Hip Hop that one season, you wouldn't know who he was. I'm sorry. Like, that's just common sense. But yeah, the episode ends there. Milan ended up coming out of the studio, and then Carry On's just like, look at you, soft boy, whatever. He's like, yep, I'm soft. I'm iconic. Look at my ass. I'm iconic. I got a mold in my ass. I'm iconic. Jumping around and he heaping and hollering and stuff like that. Like, Milan just irritated the hell out of me in this episode. Now I see why a lot of people do not like him. Like, he just does entirely too much because it didn't have to go that deep. For you to be mad at him for not knowing how to produce, and like him trying to learn how to produce on YouTube and watch YouTube videos and download it, you shouldn't have gotten that mad because it wasn't even that deep. Like, I get you was scared that you was gonna lose your verse because you know your ass had to write down that verse and you couldn't deliver it the same way you delivered it the first time because you're not a real musician. But Jesus, it wasn't that serious. Like, you obviously see Zeus is trying to set y'all up. Like, calm down. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. It was really irritating in my opinion. Leave your comments down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say about the episode, and make sure you guys tune into our after show tomorrow with me and Lou. And with entertainers, we are out.
Ain't no personal thing.